Hey folks, welcome to the BookFunnel Blurb Review. My name is Jack. I am our lead author support specialist here at BookFunnel. Let's dive into this blurb review today for The House on Constantinople by Howard Westman. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to just remind everybody what it is we're looking for in a good blurb, or what makes a good blurb. Just to kind of rattle off a few things here. For starters, we don't want it to be too long. I like to keep blurbs under 200 words. Sometimes short and sweet is better than something that trails on. And also we want to keep it concise. We want to get to the point and communicate genre expectations, what readers can expect with this book. Communicate maybe some information, but don't info dump. Maybe we communicate about the main character, the central conflict in the novel. But all of that actually isn't necessary to communicate the genre conventions that we're talking about. So we want to do as little of that as possible. And the main thing here is we want to hook the reader and make them decide to pick up our book and purchase it. So let's take a look here. So time travel with real character. With nothing left to lose and on the verge of a suicidal attempt to murder an emperor, Julian is thrust into a future he could not have imagined. So here we're mentioning the main character. This is a common sort of phrase that might be bordering on cliche because, it's this phrase here, thrust into a future he could not have imagined. However, I don't think this is too egregious here. Technically, it does fall under cliche, this phrase here. But I wouldn't be too worried about it in this case, but let's keep reading and see what else there is. Finding mentors and friends there, he learns about his true destiny and prepares to fulfill it. But can he get back to his own time? So here we're introducing conflict, trying to get back to his own time. This is also a common genre convention in time travel science fiction, which I'm guessing this is the genre here. I haven't looked at this ahead of time. So this is a blind take on this here. So that's communicating to me, okay, we're talking about time travel clearly. And this is the common trope of time travelers, getting back to your own original time. That's a good thing. That's the information that you want to communicate, even though it might seem kind of tropish and kind of obvious. That's what readers want to know. Can he survive the death that history records for him? Interesting. And can he keep the love he's found? Okay, so we're adding additional layers to the character's conflict. I like this. This series of questions is a technique that you can use to get the reader thinking about all these implications. And Howard has done a good job here of layering these together. I really like the execution. House on Constantinople is the first book of the Just-in-Time trilogy. It's a time-twisting tale of a 4th century orphaned prince who becomes Roman Emperor Julian, the apostate emperor who tried to bring Rome back to religious freedom. Will the sacrifice be worth it? Okay. Interesting. So this is kind of a mix of two techniques here. In the last few blurb reviews, we've been talking about this kind of final summary paragraph that some authors have been using, really started among romance authors, where they say, like, this book title is this, and this genre, and includes this, and this tropes. Right? Sometimes it's very explicit, and in romance, that can be effective and it can be useful. In other genres, it's not always necessary. However, there's some additional information we're given about the story in this context. So, for example, it's about an orphaned prince who becomes Roman Emperor Julian. That's one bit of information that maybe we could have gotten a hint of here, but we weren't exactly given earlier on. And so I think it works. I typically don't find that these summary statements at the end are always necessary, but if you choose to do it, you can also add some extra interest like Howard has done here. Also should point out, this is a very brief and short blurb. It does its job communicating genre. We did have one cliche in here, but I can't fault Howard for that. It works fine, and he's using the word future there, which is also hinting at the genre in case anybody didn't figure it out. The only part that I think is actually weak and could use a little bit more attention is the tagline, time travel with real character. There's no punctuation at the end of the sentence, and the phrase time travel with real character, I think it depends on how that is spoken, how somebody says it. Because somebody might think that this is actually a typo. Time travel with real characters. Are they talking about the characters? That's the only thing that stood out to me. Otherwise, I think that this is very strong. It hooks you right away. It doesn't info dump, and it's nice and brief and gets to the point, clearly communicates the genre. I would just look at that tagline at the top, tweaking that a little bit and make it a little bit more clearly worded. That's all I would say. So that's been this BookFunnel blurb review. Thank you guys. We will see you in the next one. Have a good one.
Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos from BookFunnel, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.